Woman Hollering Creek. Once upon a time, there was a woman named Maria Escobar. Maria had a husband named Federico and three sons, Pedro, Elise, and Juan. And they all lived near a creek named Woman Hollering Creek in Seguin, Texas. This creek is one that is famous in how it got its name. Over the decades, the stories of a heartless woman known as La Llorona who drowned her three little girls, killed herself in the creek is passed on from generation to generation. These storytellers also suggest that this is how the creek got its name, of Woman Hollering Creek, El Arroyo de la Llorona. But one day while Maria was knitting, she began to hear a voice that said, "Come here." Maria didn't know what to think of this voice, and 2 days later, she began to hallucinate. Maria began seeing three young girls and a woman, and they all said to Maria, "Come here." Maria then told Federico about what she has seen and what she has heard. Federico replied, "That is nonsense. Ghosts are not real." Well, one day while Federico was off at work, Maria was alone with her three children. Very soon after Federico left, Maria began to hear these voices again, and this time they said, "Come here, bring them." Maria didn't know what to do. She was shocked. She began to think, should I go? Should I stay? What should I do? Bring them, my children. Heavens, what do they want them for? What do I do? Oh God, please help me. It was beginning to get dark, and before Federico got home from work, Maria took her three boys with her, headed towards the creek. As soon as Maria and her three children arrived at the creek, Maria began to see this horrifying image of a woman in the middle of the creek. This woman then said to Maria, "Come here, don't be shy, child. I'm only trying to help you." Maria soon began to walk towards this woman. Right when Maria started walking, the woman said, "Oh, child, please bring them, please." Maria asked, "Who?" The woman said, "Them, the children." Without knowing what to do, Maria brought them alongside her towards this woman. As soon as Maria arrived where this woman seemed to be standing, the woman then disappeared. Without realizing what Maria had done, she walked back towards the land, forgetting her three children. Maria then ran back to the creek and she splashed in the dark until she found the hand of one of her children and grabbed them. And another, until she found all three of them and took them out of the creek. But it was too late for her three children. They were gone, drowned into another world. Maria shouted, "Oh no, what have I done? God help me, please. Give me back my children. Give them to me." Maria then ran home to get Federico. As Maria arrived at the house, Federico asked, "What is wrong? Why are you crying, Maria? Why are you wet?" Maria replied, "Quick, Federico, there's no time. You have to come. Please, please follow me." Federico did not argue and accompanied Maria to the creek. Once they arrived, Federico saw his 3 little boys dead at his feet. Federico shouted to Maria, What happened? What have you done? Maria paused and said, Who, me? I did not do this to them. Then who? Federico demanded. At last, Maria stood up from where her 3 children were laying and said, Her, the woman, and pointed towards the creek. Federico angrily stood to meet Maria and said, What woman? There is no woman there. You did this to our children, and you will pay for this. Maria cried out, No, no, please, I didn't do this. She made me do this. She made me. Federico took his 3 children with him and called the authorities to apprehend the false Maria. The authorities took Maria away and charged her with murder. The next day, Federico called a Sagunt funeral service so they could serve the funeral of his 3 children. The service was scheduled the next day on account of Federico had a friend that worked for the Sagunt funeral service. It was 2 days after the funeral service of his 3 boys when Federico began to hear this voice that said, Come here. Federico did not know what to do. He was shocked. It was just moments later when Federico began seeing a woman and 3 little girls said to him, Come here, come here. Federico got up and ran out of his home, and without thinking he had arrived at the creek. Federico asked himself, How did I get here? How? He began to look around, and suddenly he saw a woman standing in the middle of the creek. Federico asked, Maria, is that you? The woman said, No, I am not your Maria who killed the 3 little boys. I'm the person who is going to take you to them. Federico said, How? The woman rapidly said, Come here, I will show you. Federico began walking towards the woman, and then he suddenly realized he was stuck in the creek and couldn't move. Federico shouted, Help! Help! But no one came. Federico then began to see dead people all around him. He began to breathe harder and harder until he quickly fell underneath the water. He tried to fight to stay above the water, but he was too weak. At last, he had no air in his lungs and died. It wasn't until the next morning when authorities found his body. As for Maria, she was sent to a psychiatric hospital where she thought she was living with a woman and this woman's 3 little girls. The end.